So, I'm not even sure what really to call this, because it's not a retro review, because the film is barely a year old, but it's not necessarily a drive-home review, because I had to see it on DVD. So I don't know what this is. If this is, a sorry I missed it review, or a DVD review, or whatever you want to call it. So, little backstory. One of the things I really love doing for my birthday, as part of my birthday week, is I like to go, to Best Buy or Target or Walmart or whatever, and just buy some cheap DVDs that I don't know, some movies that I don't know, just to see what I can find. Now, this is something that's become a lot harder in the last couple years, if for no other reason than DVDs are now harder to find, and also because just by doing these, there's not a lot of movies I haven't seen or haven't heard of. And then I found this picture, and I got it, and I watched it, and again, I don't normally do something like this, but I really want to talk about this movie because I really enjoyed this movie. And if nothing else, maybe, I can get some word out there, and maybe this film can find another audience, because I really dug it. This is like the counter argument to Isn't It Romantic? About how romantic comedies are dead. Hashtag make romantic comedies great again. This film, it's a much smaller romantic comedy. It's not trying to be one of the bigger ones. But it is everything I kind of love in one of these movies. So let's talk about this. So if you haven't heard of this movie, first of all, I am not surprised. I don't know how this movie got past my radar. Usually, I know about, or I've heard about most movies that have come out, even if I don't get a chance to see them. So this thing must not have gotten anywhere near most movie theaters, and I'm kind of disappointed in that. So anyway, if you don't know, so here's the story. So, Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder are going to a destination wedding, which I guess is a thing now, in California for Keeves's half-brother, who is also Winona Ryder's ex-fiance, okay, who apparently broke up with her, I think they said 5 days before their wedding, and that was 6 years ago or something like that, and, she hasn't quite moved on and all that good stuff. So, that all sounds like very typical romantic comedy kind of setup. But here's the hook about the matter, is that all that backstory, that's just kind of window dressing. It's just kind of there to give them a reason why they're there and why they're both kind of miserable to be there. Keanu Reeves doesn't like his half-brother in this. But here's the other thing, is that both of these characters are incredibly negative characters. Just uber cynical, uber tired of just the constant bullshit of life, just the constant feeling like they're always the doormat. At least Winona Ryder's character is feeling like she's always the doormat. Keanu Reeves' character is just one of these guys who's, kind of takes a superior kind of look at everything. Everything seems stupid to him. Everybody is stupid to him. Nobody understands the world like he does, because he looks at it as such an ugly and worthless place. So first of all, if you know someone like this film is wonderful. Or, in my case, if you are someone like this. Because I was about to say, if you don't know someone like this, first of all, you clearly don't know me. I don't think I'm as insufferable as these two, but I don't like being around me for that much or that long. I can't imagine anybody else would. But anyway, so what you have here, what the main kind of hook of this movie is just these two very cynical, very tired of everything people now kind of interacting with each other because they're both at a wedding of someone they hate. They're surrounded by happier people who are just seem so bowled over by love and all this of life, and these two are just there, the constant runners up and feeling very isolated. So who else are they going to pal around with? The box of this DVD and a little bit of the opening scene make you think it's going to be one of these, it's a Beatrice and Benedict thing where they hate each other and then they slowly fall in love. And it is that. It does have a very Beatrice and Benedict flavor to it. But not in the, they're really, romantics at heart and all this. It's a very unique chemistry. So let's talk about some of the things I really love about this movie. There's two things I really love about this movie. Number one, and I gotta give it up for these guys. I want to make this number one. The acting is fantastic, and the work of these two is just top notch. I'm not a huge fan of either one of these people as actors. Keanu Reeves, I think, is a fantastic human being. For everything I've heard about him, some of the things I've heard him say, it's just like, you just seem like a really centered cat. And kind of a cool dude. But I don't think I'm alone in saying that he is not the greatest actor in the world. And in truth, I think he is at his worst when he is trying to act or trying to be serious. The movie I just saw him in, Replicants, you can tell he is really trying to sell the emotion and all this and sell it so hard, and it's just not working for him. But here he's playing such a cynic and such a monotone, kind of just so tired of all the bullshit type guy that he doesn't have to put that much force into it. He can just kind of let his natural charisma carry him through. And he's dealing some of these lines and one-liners just so quick and such great comic timing with this material. He was made for this material. I don't know if the writer-director wrote this with him in mind, but it just seems like he fits it like a glove. And on the other side, Winona Ryder, who I have never really liked as an actor. Mainly because she's not bad. But it always looks to me in everything I've ever seen her in where she is trying so hard to act. She is pushing, the character in front of her so hard. I'm very aware that she is acting. It's not an easy thing for her. Even though, I like her Little Women that she did way back in the day when she was a kid. But everything I've ever seen her in, it just seems so forced. And here, I don't know if it's just a combination of being more mature now. I don't know if it's the writer-director just knowing exactly how to handle her. I don't know if it's just the nature of the material. She is very good in this. Very understated. She's playing a little bit of the Meg Ryan kind of caricature, but not quite to that extreme. And yeah, she's good, and moreover, the two of them are good together. They have fantastic chemistry in this. It just feels, it fits together so well, which is so important for the kind of piece that this is, and the kind of movie that this is, that you got to have those leads with chemistry, because honestly, they are the only two people in the movie. There are other people at the wedding, but they don't have lines. They never interact with them. They're there for window dressing. The movie is Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder only interacting off each other. And it works so well. So that's one of the main things I love about it. The other thing I love about this movie is the writing and the type of movie it is. This movie reminds me very much of early Kevin Smith. Of, the Clerks, Chasing Amy, Kevin Smith, where it was all about the dialogue. and all about the script. This film feels like, kind of like I always felt about Kevin Smith's Primo work, it feels like a play. That's why earlier when I said that, the interaction between these two characters is so important, that's because it really does feel like a two-person play. I would not be surprised to find out this was based on a play, or this is, made into a play. It's such a stage piece. And the writing is just really sharp and really funny. And it's one of those films I had to rewind scenes because the dialogue's coming so fast and the jokes are coming so fast. You're laughing and you're laughing over another piece of dialogue. There's a great here's an example of it. So Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder's characters end up having sex in this field. Long story. So they're having sex and they're talking all through it, and they're having sex. And Winona Ryder's like, "No, no, no," and Keanu Reeves like, "No," and she's like, "No, not no, just no. I'm a very negative person." So so instead of shouting yes during sex, she shouts no, and instead of just having someone say that as a joke, they showed it, and just the delivery, the timing, the reactions. Everything was so spot on. It worked so freaking well. That does lead to kind of the only thing I don't like about the movie. Or not don't like, it's because I love it. But it is one of those things that just kind of, it's the one nitpick I can pick out of this film. The one little nitpick. And that is the dialogue, because it is very scripty, it's very... like I say, very Kevin Smithy, very stagey. The dialogue is not natural. The characters are too well-spoken, they are too eloquent, and they have some incredibly well-crafted quips and comebacks and reactions just right there. No breath, no thinking, just line, 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 line. It has the feeling at certain points of a script that has been meticulously written and meticulously memorized, and there's bouncing lines back and forth. Now, the upside is that A, the lines are so good, and B, the two actors are so comfortable with each other and so comfortable with the characters that you don't really notice it. At least if you notice it, at least in my case, it's not distracting. Because I like movies like that. I like movies where you can tell there was extreme care taken in the writing. And, the directing is very simple. Again, why it's like a play and why, again, it kind of speaks to the talent of these two actors is that a lot of shots in the movie are a lot like this. There, the camera set up and just shot, and it's just them talking. It's one take. There's surprisingly few cuts during dialogue scenes. A lot of, later on as they get into it, there are some where they have an establishing shot and then kind of angle shots or close-ups or whatnot. But for the most part, a lot of it is just, here it is, act, do the line, just like in a play. Again, very old school Kevin Smith. I remember a lot of scenes in Chasing Amy and Clerks, which are, here's the camera, here's the dialogue, go. And I like that. That is a type of film and a type of filmmaking that I really like. So, the only thing I can say bad about this movie is that I did not see it in a theater. It didn't come out, as far as I know, it was released nowhere around here. I didn't get to see this, because if I had seen this, this would have definitely made it onto my my top 10 for the year. Do you realize how hard I had to look to get 10 films for that list this year? It was a difficult task. All right? And this one would have been on there no problem. So... I'm disappointed in that. I'm mad at that. But at the same time, I'm glad I found it. I'm glad I watched it. And I'm hoping, through my very limited platform, I realize, Again, I don't have a 20 million hits per video here, but I'm hoping that if you like these kind of movies, you like clever films, you like intelligent films with good actors giving understated performances, then please check this movie out. Please go and do yourself a favor. It's a great, and it works so well on both levels. It is a great date movie. It's a great anti-date movie if you're a single person and just kind of need a little cynicism, but a little good-natured cynicism. It works as an ironic date movie. We're going to watch a date movie, but we don't want to watch a gooey one. Every level, I think this film works. So, I don't know, because I don't know if I'm ever going to do something like this again, but, so I guess I'll final grade it, just, because that's what I do. So final grade for this one's an A+. I had a great time watching this movie, and, everything about it just goes against all the cliches and does it so well. The characters get together, and they don't have, like, a falling out. They don't have the breakup scene, for, forced drama. They don't do that. They do something completely different and fresh, and it feels natural, and it feels real, and the ending feels deserved. You really do feel that catharsis of yes at the end. So, it's a beautiful romance for broken people. And speaking on behalf of the broken people, we don't have a lot of films dedicated to us. At least not that treat us like this. So, I love this movie, and I highly encourage you to find it. DVD, Netflix, whatever. But check it out. I think you'll be glad you did. So, again, never done a review like this one. I might do more of them depending on if I see something I just feel like I really need to talk about. So, I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be coming at you here again with more new films. Wow, and there's a big old traffic accident here as I'm trying to wrap up. Let's just count them. 1, 2, 3 cop cars. That's what all the lights are. Okay, so anyway, aside from that little awkward incident, thank you for joining me. Please check this movie out. And as always, drive safe, and I will see you at the movies.